Today I'm going to go over some Unitarian Universalist journals that I've made. There's two different styles. There's a junk journal, and then this one is almost more like a notebook. And the book that I altered, so all four of these are all the same book that I've altered. It's called The Church Across the Street, and it was printed by the Beacon Press like around in the 1940s. And the authors are, one of the authors is Sophia Lyon Foss. She was a well-known Unitarian Universalist religious educator back. These books, The Church Across the Street, has a different chapter for though, so it's basically different branches of Protestant. So two of the chapters, one is Unitarianism and the other one is Universalism, and those are the two chapters that I included, the complete chapters in all of these books. So let me get right into it. First I would also like to say that together little what I call ephemera packs, and they're all cutouts from the UU World magazine. So each one of these books will come with a packet of about 20 cutouts from the UU World magazines. So there's pictures, there's words, there's quotes. Yeah, so just fun for gluing in your book or for doing collages and stuff like that. The first one I'll go over is the more junk journal style, and that means there's lots of collage pieces in it. I use different ephemera, and so yeah, you'll see. Now, so there is a cutout of our chalice, and you can actually insert a picture in there and it will peek through, so it's like a peek through window. And this is a UUSC envelope, and then I glued on it, and so you can stick little ephemera like notes or pictures or anything you want in there. And this, oh, you know what? This one needs to be filled up a little bit more, so let me show the other one that I know is all filled up. So they're very similar. They're not exactly the same, like there'll be different ephemera and stuff, but they're going to be very, very similar. So I'm just going to show one of each of the different styles. Otherwise, we'll have a super long video. So you can stick, like these are just some name and address cards. So as a junk journal, if you're not familiar with it, it is about using different pieces of paper and ephemera and to do your journaling. It can be memory keeping, like you can put pictures in, you can just do a diary, you can do art journaling where you will do different like collage and visual journaling. I do a little bit of everything. So this one is meant for people that like want to be a little creative in their memory keeping and their journaling and like to play around with some collage elements. So this is what I call like a tuck spot. You can stick, actually, and I'll go ahead and do that. You can stick something in there and it'll hold it. Now, there's the title page for the book. Yeah, and there's the copyright date. It's 1947. So this was the original date the book was written. This is the 6th printing, which was January 1956. And all right, and this is another tuck spot. And this is another UUSC envelope. I thought I was being kind of clever here because as most Unitarian Universalists know, we love to march. So I thought that was pretty appropriate. So this is another envelope, and now you'll start to see pages from the book. Like this is the preface. So like I said, all pages from the chapters on Unitarian Universalism are included. And then also I think the preface for each one. And then throughout will be mixed pieces of paper that from old books that I tear apart and alter for journaling. So like this would be a good page to either stick pictures on or to collage on. Another tuck spot where you can, a little folder where you can put other ephemera or pictures. And here's some writing space. Just makes me think of Sunday worship with the pianos. And this actually, this paper here is old piano scroll paper, you know, where for those pianos that read the paper and play automatically. That's fun stuff. Then another tuck spot, and this is the chapter that talks about Michael Servetus and gives you some history about, I believe, Unitarianism. And this is actually a little spot where you could like put a little picture in there or something. And you know, one of the things that kind of bothers me is that this book didn't really talk about any women in any of these movements. And so my little protest is, instead of a portrait of Michael Servetus, I'm like, a portrait of a lady. So yeah, my little act of rebellion. And another flip envelope, the UUSC. And so like this came from a book on space. You'll see lots of like things that I identify as topics that like from sources and things that I identify as Unitarian Universalism. So science, nature, you'll see stuff like that. And there's a little picture of a animal family. Another page from the book. So you really could read the chapters in here. You can also do some altered book page art or journaling too. Like maybe, I thought it'd be fun to kind of go through and like create like circle or underline words to make it read something else. You know, highlight different words. I've seen that done. That looks like fun. Some more scrap paper that you can again write on or journal on. And this is a scrapbook sheet, which is beautiful and reminds me of the desert here in Arizona. This is actually very old stationery for my congregation in Paradise. Some stickers of Rights Campaign. I get tons of mailings from all of them. And this is another tuck spot, like an old half and half label. It makes me think of coffee hour. And then a U from a game, an old game that I have. This is actually a recipe sheet. And a U from an old game that I have. Another tuck spot. A wonderful lady at my congregation got all of the staff a notepad, the daily intention tracker, because we do worship themes. And 1 month the worship theme was, I believe, intention. So another tuck spot. And this is an old vintage bird flashcard. Beautiful image. And this is a sheet from a bird watching journal. And another envelope flip out. You can stick something in, and then this can become a peek spot. Another page from the book. Another tuck spot. Another Unitarian Universalist chalice symbol, and you can stick something in there, and that's a tuck spot. This actually came from, I got an evolution coloring book, believe it or not. And so this is a piece from that, and this is a piece from an old space book. another tuck spot and this is scrapbook paper of luggage, and another envelope. Lots of envelopes and tuck spots and stuff for you to put stuff in, and more scrap paper that you can write on. A little envelope full of little ephemera, which I will not pull out. It could be a surprise. And more scrap paper. This is a sheet from an old Sears catalog. This, actually it's a replica of an old Sears catalog. This is actual 1920s ledger paper, and a page from the book. And then this is like a part of our Sunday announcements for the order service. I just used it to decorate. And there's a pocket and the back side. This is an old encyclopedia page, and it has Unitarianism up there. I thought that was fun. And this is a picture of one of the statues. We have a grouping of statues at our congregation. John Henry Waddell is a well-known American sculptor. And in the 60s, when there was the Birmingham church bombing and the 4 little girls in Sunday school died, and it was a black church, Waddell did a grouping of statues called That Which Might Have Been, which represents the 4 girls, what they would be like if they had grown up to be women. A page from a book all about the statues. And this is a page, just a scrap paper when we did a scavenger hunt. More scrap paper, and underneath is a page from the book. And now we're getting into Universalist, I believe. So Hosea below. Another page, scrapbook page, some groovy images of children, another page from the Evolution coloring book I was talking about, some page from an old flower illustration book, a tuck spot, and a fold out of an old children's nature book with the beehive, save the bees, and a scrapbook page, more scrapbook paper and an old ledger sheet, a divider from an old gardening book. Oh, I like this because it says a lawn is your welcome mat, and music sheet with an old clipping from a music magazine I have, and another and cake, yum, just some scrap paper, another encyclopedia or dictionary page, and this has the definition of the Universalist Church of America. Now the Universalists, and another sheet from the Evolution, and some tuck spots, and some old recipe, cookbook images, portrait of John Murray, an old Eric Carlisle image, coloring page of a nature book, a botanical with a, and then a children's book